My name is Alex. I run the Product Career Accelerator, where we help proactive and experienced PMs get into their next product role. I run office hours every Wednesday at noon. I'm going to run you through the recap of what we just went through in this office hours. We had about 20 different folks jump on the call. This week, we talked about generating interest in a senior role through networking. We talked about importance of top of funnel, even when you've already got a bunch of interviews scheduled, and what happens when you don't follow up, or what happens when you actually don't do top of funnel work. We'll talk about a client who's in the middle of 7 interviews, or rather interviews with 7 companies. Talk about reframing, application, networking, connection, how or what I think is the right way to think about it. And we'll discuss what's more important, speed of application or customization of your resume. We'll be doing these type of discussions every week. I'm going to be sharing about what other experienced PMs are going through on their job search. So if you want to tune in, hear what's happening in the industry, find out exactly what's working with outreach, applications, interviews, offers, promos, success on the job, everything, then tune in and let us know in the comments if you have any questions. Happy to get into any of your questions. And if you want to also learn exactly how we coach our clients inside PCA, this is going to give you a little bit of a sneak preview of what happens in those office hours. First of all, we had one of our clients, one PCA member, was able to get a senior role or access to an interview about a senior role just through networking alone. And this job is not even listed. So you cannot apply for this job. This is potentially a job where they would create a job especially for this person. And I've seen this happen a number of times inside PCA. Mostly this is for experienced folks, senior folks. This is director, senior director, head of product. You can engage with your network, engage with other senior product people, senior recruiters, and just talk about what problems they're experiencing. Or better yet, maybe look into some of their product reviews or product usabilities or seminars or whatever it is they're selling their stuff, and try to do a little mini case study, a little mini analysis of what, if anything, you might improve or how you might proceed if you were already at a leadership position in this company. So I've seen this work multiple times. We've had jobs landed, and this person landed an interview with the hiring manager for a job that doesn't even exist on LinkedIn or anywhere else. And he met this hiring manager for a coffee chat. This was an actual in-person coffee chat, which is really, really a strong indication. Usually I do recommend doing it virtually if you can, but if there's an opportunity for a high-level position to meet in person, then of course that improves your odds of eventually moving forward. Nonetheless, I stressed to him the importance of staying focused on the role itself once it is created for him. So when he goes through the actual interview process, we still have to treat it just as seriously as if we were applying without any sort of direct referrals or without the job being crafted for us. We still have to pass the general interview bar. So we'll be prepping with him quite a lot over the coming weeks in order to nail that interview and hopefully bring it in. Next thing we talked about was we had another PCA member who has gone through a lot of interviews in the last 3-4 weeks, maybe a little bit more, and unfortunately didn't get it. So they joined, they already had a few interviews lined up, and we didn't do top of funnel work, even though pretty much 80% of the time on these calls and other calls, I stress the importance of top of funnel. If you've seen my other videos, you know that I talk a lot about applying, customizing, networking, following up, and generating new conversations, new interviews for yourself all the time. Don't wait until you have no interviews lined up to start doing this. So unfortunately, this person got a no. We're still kind of slowly moving in with one company, but he received a few no's from the companies that he already had lined up when he joined PCA, and then he didn't focus on the top of funnel. So now he doesn't have any additional interviews coming up, and it's going to take time. It takes 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks to build up conversations and interviews on your calendar. So he's starting to reinvest into outreach, applications, customization, all the usual top of funnel stuff. And hopefully over the next couple of weeks, we're going to start to see some of that play out. But this is just a reminder, and I use that to remind the rest of the 20 folks on the call that you got to stay focused on your top of funnel. Even when you have 5 interviews scheduled, you can do less top of funnel work. Don't do 4 hours a day. You can do 20 minutes a day. But try not to stop this top of funnel work until you get the offer. All right. The next thing is we had a client success. So we had a client that came in to talk about the fact that he's got 7 interviews, or rather 7 companies are interviewing him at the same time. It's a senior leadership role, both in product and in engineering. And the keys to success. So he wanted to share the keys to success on this one. To get access to those, he credits timeliness most of all. We talk about a lot of stuff in PCA. We obviously help you with accountability. We give you the best practices, and we try to get through each day and continue to apply and stay top of funnel. But he talked about the importance of speed, which is one of my favorite things. I talk on the internet about how you should apply quickly because the chances of the hiring manager picking your resume from 10 candidates is greater than from 1,000 candidates. Seems kind of straightforward. People don't get this. Even yesterday, I had another PCA member contact me and told me that he saw my video where I was talking about how you should apply quickly. And here he is sitting and saving jobs. Never save jobs. Don't save jobs on Tuesday, Wednesday so that you can look at them on Saturday and apply. It's going to be too late by then. You see the job. Someone's excited about potentially bringing on more people. Just apply right away. If you can apply within 10 minutes, you can have the greatest odds of success. So this person came in and said, primarily what he did is he set up alerts, not just LinkedIn email alerts, but app alerts. He turned off all the other notifications. He just kept the alerts for the job notifications. And as soon as the job came up, he applied for it within 10 minutes. In fact, he didn't even customize his resume, which is where we got into the debate of should you do it quickly or should you customize. But he credits a large part of these interviews, I think 5 or 6 of them, to the speed of application. And of course, as he confirmed, he was a good fit for all of them. So don't think that just speed alone will do it. You can't apply for a job that you have no experience, expertise, skill set, no business applying for, and expect to get a callback just because you did it quickly. That doesn't work. Let me just get it out of the way. The other interview that he got was from a PCA referral. So another PCA member referred him for an opportunity where he was a good fit, and lo and behold, he got an interview. Of course, that happens inside PCA, and you can leverage your own network to do the same. So now let's talk about reframing the process of application, networking, connection in general with how people maybe are used to doing it. And primarily it's talking about yourself. Hey, Mike, I'm looking for a new job. Can you help me out? Or, hey, Janet, I see that you're hiring over here. Can you help me out? Like, it's just focused on your problems, and people don't really react well to that, as I'm sure you noticed. Instead, let's focus on their problems and how you can be useful to your colleagues or your contacts or your acquaintances or your friends. And you've got plenty of skills and attributes and expertise areas and things that you've done and delivered that actually make you well positioned to solve a problem. So you've got to reframe the way that you think about application, customizing resume, networking, outreach, all that stuff. Reframe it to solving the other person's problem. When you're applying for a job, read the job description, find the 1, 2, 3 things that the hiring manager is actually looking to solve and offer to solve those problems. And if you do that in 1 or 2 lines, you're much more likely to actually get a callback. Same deal with the networking. If you're networking with your network or you're trying to make new friends, try to make new friends by solving their problems and offering to be a solution as opposed to being a burden and asking them to do some stuff. So that's the approach. I just wanted to share it with the group because a lot of times this networking is done with the wrong idea in mind and it could kind of creep in. And in fact, we were talking about a question asked during a recruiting conversation. Hey, why are you interested in this company? Why are you interested in this company? What brings you to this company? And the common answer is, well, it gives me more scope and I could deliver more impact and I could do more and it's really great for my career. I'm not kidding. These are the type of answers that people use. And of course, it's ridiculous, but it's very self-centered. And we talked about this as well on the call that one of our clients, one PCA member, was in the middle of a conversation with a recruiter, and he framed it as, hey, I'm interested in this role because I can see that I can be useful in this thing, and I'm particularly excited about your mission or whatever. And she still followed up later on with asking the same question, hey, what makes you interested in our company? So you always want to frame it around the other person's, the interviewers, the recruiters' problems. And the recruiter has their own problem. The hiring manager has their own problem. Try to really do discovery and think about what their problems are and then solve for them. That's the frame for application, conversations, networking, everything. So now the last thing I want to talk about is speed of application or customization. I did a whole video on this one separately. Maybe I'll link it somewhere. The big thing is, should you apply quickly or should you customize your resume? Of course, you should do both, but if you only have enough time to do one, what should you do? I recommend customizing your resume, because if you apply quickly and the resume doesn't match, then it doesn't matter that you applied quickly. But if you customized, then you have a chance. And it's true that if you applied too slowly, but with a customized resume, you still don't have a chance because you're too low in the deck. But you have a higher chance than if you applied quickly with a non-customized resume. Because at the end of the day, what matters is whether you can solve their problem or not. It's not really about you. And finally, I'll just say that when you're customizing, we talked about this in office hours as well, you've got to customize primarily the top of your resume. Don't do the whole thing. Just rework the top 2 or 3 lines so that you can catch the attention of the reader and make them believe that you can solve their problem, or you have a chance of solving their problem, to get them interested in actually giving you a call back. All right, if you found this useful, then we'll be doing this series pretty much every week. After office hours, I'll just sit down and record what we talked about, and so that way you can kind of be in the room. And if you are looking for your next role, you can use the link in the description to set up a time to speak with our team about potentially joining the Product Career Accelerator so we can work together on landing your next top tech PM role. Thanks very much. See you next time.